Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm Senator Chappelle-Nadal, Korea. I've held 100 town hall meetings on this subject matter. I have interviewed nearly 1,000 people at this point. And when I ask you these questions, there is a member of the audience, her name is Vicki Woodson, who is making a decision between whether she's going to have another surgery or go into hospice. So I'm going to take the executive privilege to ask multiple questions because I've been dealing with this for the last several years and I want a real answer. Here's the first question. Who is Erin with ATSTR? I want to know what she looks like.
I'm right here, ma'am.
Okay, Erin, you and I have a problem because there is a constituent who lives in the 13th Senatorial District who has 4th stage tongue cancer, who you told that you don't want to let everyone know there should be a buyout in North County. Yeah, Carol, who had her tongue removed. 4th stage cancer. She did an entire interview with me and said that you don't want people to know about the radioactive waste along Coldwater Creek because that means that North County would be absolutely vacant. So I wanted to see what your face looks like so I can identify you in the future. She no longer has a tongue. Okay? Thank you. I'm done with you at this point. I'm done with you. I am done with you. I am done with you, Erin. I'm done.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
The next question is, at the Boeing McDonnell Douglas site, there is an overlap of radioactive waste. Who's from DNR? Where's DNR? So you know that I wrote a letter to DNR about the overlap of the cleanup that Boeing is doing right now with their own contamination with the additional radioactive waste. I provided a map of federal documents that showed radioactive waste along the grounds of where the old McDonnell Douglas used to be.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yes. Well, thank you about that. I still do not know what the adjusted remediation is going to be. So the remediation plan was to just deal with the contamination that McDonnell Douglas had, which is Boeing's responsibility. But it is now Boeing's responsibility, and we have to also adjust for the contamination that's there and along Lindbergh and 270. So I'm still waiting to see what that adjustment would be because federal documents show that it overlaps. It's on top of each other.
I'm sorry, my understanding was that the department had provided you with the information.
So on public record, I don't know who these cameras are, but I want to make sure that we get an answer to that. And I'm going to make sure we're dealing with that answer as we deal with your budget for this year. The next question that I have is the consideration of floods. Now, this contamination started in 1946, and you said that there are precautions that people can take right now. But before there were even communities that were created, neighborhoods that were created, there was contamination that migrated. This stuff was not only in wet waste, but it was also dry waste, where it was processed to be as smooth as powdered sugar. So if you even go back 70 years and you do a climatology test, which I did, we went back, my office went back and did 70 years of I am not one of the experts here, but I can tell you about the people that I have interviewed, the people who are in this room who will remain nameless for some time. And I am concerned about this migration. I am concerned about the sediment. I'm concerned about the rock that was put underneath people's homes, as has been stated by people who have been in this audience. And I really want to tell you, as I have been trying to work with many of you, not all of you, but many of you, that the people are not getting the truth at this point. The contamination started in 1946 in North County. were not established at that time. You had a movement of Coldwater Creek, you had an expansion of Coldwater Creek at that time, and people became interested in moving out to St. Louis County. The dream at the time was to have a 3-bedroom house, a two bathrooms, a good school district, and have a nice creek right behind their house. But what they found out later on, the first generation of people, the second, and I've interviewed them, the first generation of people, the second generation of people, they found out that the property that they bought was contaminated. So how do you protect yourself? You don't breathe. You don't breathe. You don't. Let me just tell you one more story. Alex, my former intern. Maria, I have to take my mom and my sister to the hospital. My sister has leukemia. And I said, oh, Alex, what's wrong? What's going on? Where do you live? What's going on? She said, I already knew that you were going to ask me that. Coldwater Creek is right behind my house. And I said, oh, really? And I said, do you have a basement? And she says, yes. And I said, how do you use your basement? And she says, it's our family room. And then I asked the question, how long have you lived in this house? And she says, 15 years. And then I asked the question, has your basement ever flooded? And she says, all the time. That's Alex, my intern. So when I come before you today, I'm speaking on behalf of nearly 1,000 people that I have interviewed who live in and around my district. There is a problem that exists. It's real. There are people who have done excellent work. I know you don't like me, Kim, but you've done excellent work, and I tell people that all the time. You have done excellent work. But there are cancer clusters, and it's real. I've gone door to door, and I can tell you that. I am your state senator, I'm these people's state senator, and I am telling you that it is too late. It is too late. Aaron, when I heard what you said to one of our constituents, I was dismayed. I guess it was easy. Don't stop me. I guess it was easy to tell a person. I guess it was easy to tell a person who was about to get her tongue taken out. It was easy to tell a person who was having their tongue taken out to stay silent about people moving out of North County. I guess that was easy.
Let her respond, ma'am. Right now. Give her the microphone.
Aaron, thank you for all you're doing.
I live on Fox Street Drive. I moved there in 1997. And
Sir, you need to sit down, sir. Sit down, Gary. Hey, never in your life tell me to shut up. Never. Don't ever tell me to shut up. Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
you did a good job, Senator.
Ma'am.
Okay. So I bought my house in 1997, and I, for the first 3 years, I flooded 4 times, meaning flooding